What could this agency possibly be doing differently in their model to acquire 87 customers so quickly? Well, in this video, we're going to tell you. This is a tell-all video with Derek Justin. He pulls apart his agency and tells you what he's doing to scale his agency and how he can help you.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to this is a spotlight interview between me and my friend Derek Justin. Before we get in and dive deep into how you're crushing it today in your agency, Derek was actually a case study spotlight that we did how long ago? 7-8 months ago ish,
something like that.
Yeah. And so if you don't know who he is, we have a case study of him previously. But you recently reached back out to me. Actually, before we do that, a quick introduction to you, and then we'll get into
yeah. Yeah. So what's up, guys? My name is Derek, and I run a real estate lead engine, or now known as Lead Engine, just a traditional SMMA. And I've come from the marketing background, marketing world, and have been doing this probably now for 8 years. So, I'm just starting to figure it out. And yeah, just continuing to grow and scale. And this is definitely a passion for sure.
I love it. So if you're using HighLevel, if you're using UpHex, before we jump into today's interview, what I want to do is I just want to set the stage. Okay. The model that Derek and I are going to be discussing today is the one right now that is really, really attractive to local businesses. Or in other words, it's the one unique approach that I personally feel, and it's validated, by the way, you'll see why. I personally feel like positions you from the very beginning to win. Now, you recently sent me this message on Messenger. We scaled to 87 clients after we started using UpHex. Can you imagine if I had to pay $250 for a media buyer every time that you signed up an account? So just to set the stage, when we're talking about the way that local businesses used to get lead generation services and what this model is doing, okay, what the opportunity is right there. Talk to me about how you were able to scale 80 to 87 clients, and then what it means to those 87 people that they're not having to pay $2,000 per account, right? To have a media buyer on that account.
Right. Yeah. So internally, and this is just kind of the OG, the way that, and some social media marketing agencies still do this, which is crazy to me. But when I first started, probably back in 2018, and was like, yep, I'm going to do SMMA. I had to go find a media buyer. Yes, I knew how to run ads, but I knew that someone could do it better. And it wasn't the most effective use of my time, the most income producing use of my time. So I was like, cool, I'll go pay somebody a couple $100 to launch an ad for, my client every time we need a new ad. Good deal for them, good deal for me. So, and that I never thought about that on a scale model, because I was maybe doing 3 clients in a month if I was lucky, right? So I wasn't focused on scale at that time. But because I really got to the place where I need to streamline, I need to scale, I need to crack the code on all these guys that have 20, 30, 50, 100 clients, that's when I started realizing it started adding up, paying $200 every time we're doing an ad. And for the media buyer that I had on originally, they were getting at it every time. Even with an old client, it's like, oh, we need to redo their ads. Maybe 60 days goes by or 30 days and they need a new ad. I got to pay them twice. It's like, holy crap. So it was eating into the profits incredibly. So as I scaled and as we started going, 5 clients a month, 5 clients a month, 4 clients a month, 10 clients a month, it's like, holy cow. So, and, as I started to build that momentum, which, was a lot of trial and error and a lot of coaching and a lot of courses to get there. As I started to build that, that's when we kind of found you guys, and I was like, okay, I can bring it down and I can hire somebody to just run this thing internally for, and that's not how a lot of people do it. And that's fine. You can have your client do it. And they like that they can see it and play with it and control it if they want to. But ultimately, what we found is they still like for us to manage it. And it makes it where I can pay a media buyer a little less, still pay them for their time and their value, but pay them a little less and just have one media buyer for, all my clients instead of,
Yeah.
and pay them on kind of on a monthly, hey, here's how much you make every month. Just do all the work.
When you get into the agency game, whatever your model is, and obviously specifically in social media marketing, running ads for people, it's incredibly true, but every model, the one thing that you don't think about is, well, you start doing the marketing math. I don't know about you, but whenever I would be like, okay, I'm going to get a client, they're going to pay me $1,500. I get 10, that's 15 grand. I'm thinking, that's just money that I deposited in my bank account. Sweet. Sounds good. You don't realize that the cost to fulfill is always going to be prevalent. And as you grow, as you scale, how much it squeezes your profit margins. And eventually, if you have the same experience that I've seen many agencies have, you get to a point to where as you grow, it compresses your margins down to like 15, 20%.
Yep.
Right?
Done incorrectly. Yep.
And that sucks. There's nothing more demotivating to see like 60 grand, for example, come into your bank account and you walk out with like, 10 or something.
And if you're lucky.
If you're lucky, exactly. Right. And so I think that's one
Some
thing
months
that
7 and you're going, what in the world?
yeah. And I think that's something that people don't account for. And yeah, that's obviously a problem that UpHex solves. So, okay. So we're tracking 100%. I couldn't agree with you more. It solves that problem. Now, I want to talk about, because you scaled to 87 clients. I remember in my agency, I don't know about you, but we had never really cracked 30 accounts because the problem you just cited, fulfillment, cost to fulfill, we were getting squeezed. Every time I'd hire
internal.
Yeah. All the stuff that you never thought about in running a business, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as I implemented this model, well, the first webinar I did, I've talked widely about this. We got 53 paying customers, right, in one webinar. So we went from 20 to, 75, 8, whatever the math is there, right? And then eventually ended up at 127. I could not believe the impact that a unique proposition like that could make on acquiring customers. I'd never done it before, right? So I'm curious as to your experience as you scaled, what your experience was pitching that model to your prospects.
Yeah. So, ultimately our prospects, the model for them was just, hey, we're going to set it up where I kind of had 2 versions based on the person that I felt like, okay, they have experience, they've run some ads before, they haven't had success, right? And I worked directly with realtors. I recommend to everybody, like, focus down on one niche. That's how you scale. So that's the first thing. And if I came across a realtor that had some success with, and they've run ads and they've tried some things in the past, I could offer the model that was like, hey, we're going to set this up. We're going to manage it and kind of do an intensive with you for the first 60 days. And then we're going to let you fly. If you have questions, we're in Slack. You can just hit us up or jump on the group, coaching call, and where people can get help there. So, and that works for a small amount of clients. But what we found really the leverage of this tool and having it in the internal, along with some other automations and some other things, is it just allowed for us to manage all the clients. It's like, all right, I know we can take a lot of them because I can go to one dashboard, the UpHex dashboard, and see all of my clients in one place, their cost per lead, all their stuff, all the stuff I need to know for what my profit margin is for my business, and to make sure that the ads that my media buyers set up were working okay. And it was easier for her to go and do that. So we really ran it as an internal thing. We let them know, hey, we actually launched Facebook ads from your HighLevel, from your account directly, but we'll manage it. For most people that we came across, especially in the real estate space, their experience with Facebook ads was limited or non-existent because they simply already paid for someone like Zillow or Realtor.com or some other lead company to just get them set up and send them the leads, and they would maybe go to their CRM. So if that model was congruent with our conversation, with a sales conversation with my sales team, then that's really the main thing we would pitch them. Pitch them, hey, we're going to set it up, do it all for you, everything you're comfortable with. And then, we'd give them that back end option if they didn't like the amount that we charged or whatever. But ultimately, we were setting it up, managing it, and running it, and using UpHex to be able to just manage and run all the ads in our clients' HighLevels, and essentially be able to have one person manage all my clients, which is
Exactly.
on the fulfillment
Exactly.
side, which is insane. So, and that's how, so it wasn't really too much different for the client themselves, or for the prospect, for the realtor we were working with or that wanted to work with us. It was really the internals of how it helped us so much from that scaling standpoint.
I love it. It's funny because that was, that's in my webinar. Actually, I say, 127 clients is what we scaled to in that first 2 months. Those 127 clients were managed by a part-time stay-at-home mom, right? And she could handle the workload because all of the technical, tactical, like hands-on manual things were completely removed. Like our clients now, in our case, and I'll go back to your pick a niche thing. I could not agree more, right? Your decisions in your agency will largely be influenced by the niche that you're in. They'll have different experiences, different capabilities, different wants, different needs. And so if you look at every model like it's rinse, wash, repeat, there's some duplication that you can learn from. Like I'm in the, the doctor niche, like we get patients. You're in the home selling, like acquiring customers for realtors. Like there's some overlap in our models, but you gotta really know your prospect to adapt your product. And that is something that really trips up a lot of would-be successful agencies, is because they go in asking the wrong questions. Like they'll go into a community, like a HighLevel community or even UpHex community, and be like, what prices should I charge? And what do I do when this happens? It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. You're asking the wrong people. Don't ask agency people. Ask your prospects, ask your customers. They'll tell you whatever they want. Then you can decide how you deliver that. Okay, well, we're going to give them conversational AI. We're going to give them like whatever it is. Right. But the way you fulfill that should be customer congruent, not what somebody in a Facebook community says, right? Yeah. So I think you hit two nails on the head. Number one, pick a niche, always pick a niche. Number two, adapt. I like how you adapted your services differently than I did. And I can see 100% why you've had so much success. So kudos to you. What does your team look like in order to manage the amount of clients you have currently?
Yep. So we're running Facebook ads. So, and I do some of that myself. But really it's just me, a salesperson, a client success person, a media buyer, and a VA. And that's really all I don't know what else is needed. So now I have my hands more involved on those things, but ultimately, you know,
Can you imagine?
hire somebody.
Like imagine going back to, you said you started in 2017. Is that when you started?
Yeah, 2018, 2017, 2018 is really when I was like, all right, I'm going to do social media marketing for realtors. How am I going to do that? So
Can you
really when I
imagine
started the journey.
handling the amount of clients that you now have with, if
Back
you were
then.
to use that model before, you know
No
what I
way.
mean? No
Yeah.
way, right? That's one
Well,
of
I
the fun
didn't have
things about
I
doing it
didn't have the
now.
model. I didn't have the infrastructure, and
Yeah.
I certainly didn't have my mind wrapped around that was even possible.
Yeah. Um, we ran, you know, we're trying to use AI in every way possible right now. What are the best ways to use it? And one thing we did was Jacob found some feedback. I think he went on to our Trustpilot, downloaded all the reviews, and then just different customer feedback. And we asked AI to consolidate why people liked UpHex. And it came up with a really just one line that I was like, dude, this is so important, not just for UpHex, but for everyone. Your agency should be doing this. And the line was this: replicate success.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so simple, but so true. Meaning we can go through every process in our business. As soon as an ad has success, what should we do? Use it again. Don't change it. Replicate it. Replicate anything that wins. As soon as you have an onboarding experience that a customer at the end says, that was great, that was awesome, I'm excited, replicate that experience,
That's
right?
right.
And the more you can treat, and if you think about it, it's like, well, this shouldn't be a novel idea. I mean, Henry Ford created duplication in the form of a conveyor belt. Like they would
Absolutely.
replicate processes, right? And all we're doing, all we should be doing in our agencies is designing our conveyor belt, right? Our assembly line. And if you replicate the things that work, and as soon as something doesn't work, you're like, okay, hold on, stop the conveyor line, fix this, turn it on again.
That's
And when
it.
you get that thing going, man, there's nothing more fun than that. There's nothing more fun than that.
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's the funnest, the most fun feeling I have ever had is watching all of those processes come into sync and being like, we're acquiring customers, onboarding, delivering, fulfilling, and keeping customers.
Yeah.
Like this is all happening in the business I own. You know what I mean? Anyway, less about me.
Yeah.
Let's get back to you. But
Yeah. No, well,
I
that's
think
it.
the
It's
takeaway. Go ahead.
yeah, that's it. It's the journey of building and scaling, the journey of I really like the quote, the work you do works on you. That might be a Hermosi quote, or somebody said it and he just, said it again. So so now it's a Hermosi quote. Um, so the work you do works on you as you're building and as you're growing. Like it's not about let me make $100,000 a month so I can have Lamborghinis and mansions. It's about who you become in the process and the person that you become and the skills and abilities and the journey, as cliche as it is, it's the journey to becoming a better version of yourself through business.
Yeah.
And it's a powerful way. And that's what that fun is. That's what I see that fun kind of being. So
You mind if I drill you a little bit on the niche that you're in? Not to get, not to bring in like competition or anything, but I know that right now real estate is a challenging niche. I mean, we're shooting this video in January of 2024 and interest rates are higher. You know, there's a lot of things happening in the economy. So what do you think has made it so you continue to crush it where other people are struggling in that niche? What do you attribute, what are you doing to win in real estate right now?
Yeah, so I mean, it really doesn't have anything to do with the niche. I think it has everything to do with the client experience and the customer experience. And that comes down to setting proper expectation for your clients. and creating a streamlined experience. What a lot of agencies, and listen, if you're at 1, 2, 3, 5 clients, whatever, you need to ask yourself, is all of my marketing and everything look awesome and cool and polished? And then when they get in the door, it's crickets and it's not put together and it's duct taped and the ads don't work well and the results. Like, so it's about setting expectation. It's about providing value, and it's about creating a streamlined experience.
Yeah.
Does onboarding happen right after the sale?
Yeah.
What automation goes out so they remember to show up on their onboarding? Do they have videos that they can watch? Not necessarily 72 course videos, but are there specific videos that they can watch so they can know the next steps? Is there a call that happens with a success manager or somebody, even if it's automated voicemail, saying, hey, we're super excited to have you in there? Is there a welcome post that goes out somewhere? So it's focusing on customer experience, client experience. People want to feel a part of something.
Yeah.
And it matters less about the leads that you give them. And I would even negate that while time to value or collapsing time to fulfillment, as we kind of call it, so that they get a deal closed or the client gets their investment back fast. That doesn't even trump the experience that they have, the support that they have, and the people that they have behind them. That is your company. So it's really about client experience. It's about the internal systems within your agency that are that start, stop, figure it out, make adjustments, make changes, unfortunately, type of thing that we've had to do. And I've had to spend like $30,000 in coaching trying to really streamline and nail down to where it's just a seamless experience and people feel a part of something and they're getting help and they're getting onboarded and it's extremely streamlined and they know exactly what they need to do. They know they feel welcomed and they know exactly what you're going to do and they watch it happen and ta-da, you've set expectation and you fulfilled on expectation. That's really all that matters. I don't care if you only get them 1 lead in a month. If that's what they think they're going to get and they're paying for it, ta-da, you did it. Like, it doesn't matter the amount of leads. It doesn't matter what you charge them. It doesn't matter.
Right.
It matters the expectation you set and whether you fulfill on that in a streamlined way that anticipates their needs.
It's funny. The first thing you said was, it doesn't matter the niche. And you're right, because I even asked a question that was focused around a particular niche having a challenge. That assumes that there's zero real estate being bought or sold.
Right. It's not a
the
challenge.
country. It's like, yeah, that is not happening. It is absolutely, even in economic downturn, there is always real estate flowing from one hand to the next. There's a lot of reasons that's happening, right? Go ahead.
That's exactly what I would tell, when I did sales directly with the realtor or, when I had my sales guys, I would let them know that. I'm going to say, hey, listen, if somebody's in their own head, and that's really all that they are. If my client, my potential client, my prospect is in their own head about why this isn't going to work or why they're struggling because external forces outside of themselves magically are making, it's like, go to your MLS. And this is my real estate marketer guys will know this. This is exactly what you want to tell your realtor. Go to your MLS. They won't even know where to do this, by the way. So go pull up the report for last month and tell me how many transactions happened in your MLS. It's usually 1,000 or more. So that means 1,000 buys and sells happened in the MLS, exchanges of homes within your market. Can you get 4 of those, 3 of them? Can you fit yourself somewhere into that 1,000? Oh my gosh, what if it was 400? You can still get 3 or 4. It's not that there's 3 or 4 and there's 3,000 people, that are trying to fight for that business. It's that there's 1,000. Some cities have thousands that happen in a month. And it's just a matter of getting in between them. And for everybody, for all you guys watching this, you're thinking about doing SMMA or whatever kind of marketing you're doing. This is how I would set expectation. This is the most important thing I set expectation on, that you never will get a bad lead. people are like, yes, I got bad leads. It's like, no, no, no. There is no such thing as bad leads. Leads are a proponent. They're an ingredient in the process. So ultimately, the leads builds what? Builds my list of potential buyers and sellers. And that's, I don't care if you and I are selling, lemonade online. Like if we're selling lemonade cups online with an e-commerce store, or we're selling, ads for, to generate leads. We, both of those people need an email list, and they need to continually grow it. And they need a way to have conversations with people that have opted in some way and said, hey, yeah, I think I need help with that. I think I need a list of homes. I think I need to get my dental cleaning. I think I need to get my spine adjusted. Whatever your offer is, it doesn't matter if that person responds in the first 3 months. You never delete people from your list, and you just,
Yeah.
you email them until they're dead.
You know
And you
what's
won't
funny?
know.
You know
It's
what's funny?
about building your
I
list.
find so many similarities between successful agencies. Michael Dooley, I was talking with him, I don't know, a couple months back, and he was talking about, he's like, we don't sell leads. We sell list building. Now, Michael Dooley, he's got two offers. One's an UpHex only, or UpHex plus HighLevel SaaS, right? And then he's got a kind of one like you have, where it's like full service and it's higher ticket. And I think he sells that one for $6,000. I can't remember, $6,000, something, doesn't
Yeah.
matter. But he's telling these people that the core objective of the lead building is list building.
Mhm.
And then to think of all of the leads that are flowing in as a finding pool that we get to work, right? If we
Right.
look at it like one at a time, one lead at a time, the failure rate, because a customer, an end customer, if you don't set their expectations, like you said, properly, they say, well, the only thing I know about are customers. And these leads seem like customers. They look like a customer, but they're not behaving like the customers that make me the money. Like I thought this was customers, and they're conflating the two.
Right. They're not
And
customers.
just by chance, I haven't sold an agency client in since I posted those videos to help people learn how to do it. But I got a phone call from somebody literally an hour before this call here today. And the guy was just asking me questions, and I'm like, I don't care if you buy or not. I had that kind of attitude because it's like, whatever. But I said, the real big thing, Dan, his name was Dan, like the real big thing, Dan, is that when you work with our team that we call qualify, he wanted our done for you approach. We call qualify and book your appointments. Said, we don't just work the leads that are coming in on day to day. Every lead that comes into your system, we look at it as a nurturing and finding pool.
Yep.
So our team can go into the finding pool and find on a monthly basis qualified people to get into your clinic. And he goes, I've never had anybody explain it to me like that before. Yeah, dude, like the digital asset that you have. And it is, if real estate, if number one rule in real estate is what? Location, location, location. The number one rule in marketing should be list,
Leads.
list, list.
Yeah. List leads. List leads.
Yeah. And it's like, dude, it's not, it doesn't feel like a sexy value proposition, but if you position it the right way,
Yep.
it is an endless source of new customers, so long as you keep replenishing that pool and you keep fishing from that pool, right?
And that's what I tell prospects, and would tell our clients, when I help kind of coach them, and if they have questions, sometimes I'll hop on, is, and anybody can use this, by the way. You can let your client know, hey, listen, if you had a list of 300,000 people to send an email and a text to get more business, would we even be on the phone?
That's interesting. That's
You
an
wouldn't
interesting
need me.
idea. Yeah.
Like, you
Well, and
wouldn't need me.
yeah, that's right. I mean, it's an
You'd have your
idea
audience.
hook that they haven't considered before.
Right.
Right. Um, That's very interesting. I mean, we could probably do a 3-hour episode just going into all of the best practices, all that kind of stuff. But
The
one
journey.
of the things that I've seen, I think this is impulse. I'm in a very similar position right now, is the people who are winning look back and they're like, man, that was a rough road. In some cases, everybody's rough is different, but that was a rough road.
Mine just took forever.
Well, by the way, that's the number one rough road is the amount of time you waste when you could have gone from here to here faster. That is the biggest risk you take, right?
Yeah.
And I think lost time, because you just think about it, like, you know, you've heard Alex Ramosi, again, going back to him, he's like, make $1 million. How much is it costing you to not know how to do that? $900,000 per year.
Right.
So it's like, well, crap, how do I do that? Well, in the olden days, you know how everybody learned. You got a mentorship. If you wanted to become a blacksmith, you went and you were an apprentice under a blacksmith
For years.
yeah, and they would just show you, like, no, don't do it that way, do it this way. So all of the guesswork, you had somebody just sitting there and saying, this is how you do it, right? And I find a ton of people like you, Dooley does this too. And again, a ton of our people, they just have gone out of their way to say, Matt Coffey does this. Let me show you what works. Because I already blazed that trail. You can go through the jungle with your little machete, or there's a trail right over here. You can just follow it. So talk to me, because I think you're embarking on doing some of that at a somewhat limited level capacity. But talk to me about.
Yeah. Well, I really in this year for sure made kind of a dedication to myself to be able to build more community and be more relational with other marketers, but more importantly, to reach back and help others, because what took me 7 years, you know, it could take somebody 6 months if they wanted it to.
That's
There's
true.
so many of us out here that are solopreneurs, you know, entrepreneurs. If we pull back the layer of what is an entrepreneur, and we go back to us as kids, I bet a lot of us have a common thread of wanting to figure things out by ourselves. And this whole entrepreneur journey is that you're on, a lot of you watching this, if you're here, kudos to you. You're the one that we're talking to right now.
Yeah.
Is to learn that it's not about figuring it out on your own, and that you should replicate what other people are doing, and you should learn from other people, and you don't have to make every single adjustment and invent it all yourself as you go. You've got to use other people's systems and models. So, you know, I really got to the place where I'm like, I need to reach back and help a few people. Now, I don't have the bandwidth, obviously, to have like 10 mentees or 10 people that I can help or anything like that. And I don't really, what I kind of set up, I don't even fully look at it as like a coaching, but what I'd like to offer for people is, you know, to just book a call with me. Dude, if you need help with like what hook for our ads should we do, or how to, like, whatever little thing, I'm happy to spend 15, 20 minutes with somebody helping them with something. But for some people, they're to the place where they're hitting this glass ceiling of 3, 4, 5 clients. And I've already spent the time building the infrastructure and building all the stuff that I know, and all the systems that can allow for somebody to literally just take it and replicate it, and hire salespeople, hire setters, hire a client success manager, and do it in the right order, because it can be done in the wrong order. To be able to collapse that journey from 7 years to, you know, a few months. So, you know, if somebody is, you know, wanting help with that, you know, I'm happy to, maybe we can put a link down below,
Definitely.
you know, my calendar or something, to, you know, to spend a few minutes with me, and either I'll point you to the right person, or on the right path, or say, hey, go do this. Or if it makes sense to, you know, look at something a little bit deeper, I'm happy to look at that as well. Because I think, you know, we are all supposed to at some point in our journey, look back and help each other, help the next group, because there's enough businesses and there's enough people that we can all win, is the way I look at it. So
I feel like well, first of all, I think it's awesome. I agree with you. I'm a proponent 100% of anybody who is, I'm not even going to say give back, but anybody who's just a natural leader, that is willing to, and it almost feels like a call, like a duty. I know
yeah.
what that feels like. Like seriously, genuinely, it is an impulse. And sometimes I do stuff in our own community where I'm like, this is such a waste of time, such a like time. This is not like I don't,
Right.
Anyway, so I applaud you for that. We will put a link in the description below so people can reach out to you.
Yeah.
But I'll just say, to build an audience and to do all this stuff, you see a lot of people talking about gurus.
Yeah.
I don't know many gurus, and I could be wrong. I'm not painting with a broad brush, that actually operate or have operated the business that they are going to show somebody else how to do, right? And if I go back to the replicate success and the idea of having a mentorship, there is no more proven way throughout history than to follow the person that's already done it. And they just say, all right, it's day one. Here's what we're going to do. And then you
Yep.
do that thing. And it is crazy how quickly you can learn by just doing, I'm sorry, I'll say it this way. How quickly can you can learn and advance by not doing the wrong things.
Right.
Right? By not going here, then there, by going only
To sleep better at night.
you sleep better at night, all the things. And yeah, and it's like you can do a couple of things right, one after another, then see success like that. You're like,
That's
whoa,
true. And I don't even look at myself as a guru, and probably some of us, some of the other guys that, still run or have, had their agencies, running and managing tons of clients. So much so I look at it like this, Sam. A lot of marketers are have carts on the side of the road selling hot dogs. And all we did was we built or selling cookies. I don't know why I like cookies. And all we did was we figured out, or we hired somebody to help us build a cookie shop with the glass and the pretty stuff, so that and all the back end and the people and the displays for the cookies, so that we could sell the cookie more often for a higher price point, and in an environment where people knew they were coming into the cookie shop, not just walking on the side of the road and, oh, I think I'll take a hot dog, or think I'll take a cookie. If people come in my shop that I now built and I curate them into my environment, now I can charge them more. Now they're happier about the experience. Now they understand what they're here to buy.
Yeah.
And the front end and the back end, right? So the whole thing. So that's really what I'm kind of inspired to help a few marketers that don't have those things. They have them a little bit here and there, but it's still kind of just the cart on the side of the road. It's
Yeah.
like people don't realize how much back end work. Yes, things like UpHex, yes, can help you, but there's so much internal back of the house stuff and internal systems that need to happen. Even if you're using HighLevel, like system automations that we have, system funnels that we have that are just internal systems,
Yeah.
that can help streamline, so you can manage it with less people and you don't have to overhire, and you can actually take that 60K a month and turn it into a 30K profit. So that's really what is my goal with agencies.
People don't need gurus, they need mentors. And that's what you're looking at. Again, I'll champion anybody who I know, and I know, right? Anybody who's winning, I'll champion that person as a mentor anytime. So again, we'll have Derek's information in the link in the description below, so you can reach out to him. Any final words before we end up here, buddy?
Man, if you're still watching this, I'm pumped because you're going to be successful. Like, because clearly you watch all of these and you're consuming the content because you're hungry and have the desire, and keep doing that. Whether you do anything, whether you use UpHex or work with somebody, it doesn't matter. Keep consuming that content. Keep pushing forward. Whether you figure it all out on your own in 7 years or you do it in 6 months, like keep going, because don't ever forget you're serving people in your community and other communities, and you're helping families and you're impacting lives.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Now, if you've been watching that video and you're still not clear on what the model is, here is what you need to know. 1 out of every 3 SaaSpreneur awards in the HighLevel community this year went to an agency running on UpHex plus HighLevel. What does that mean? That means that this model, effectively an automated SMMA, is the model that is attractive to both the prospects, the people out there in your community who need leads, who need qualified leads. It's attractive to them, so that means it's easy to sell. And that is why 1 of every 3 SaaSpreneur awards, that's an award given to an agency with over 100 sub accounts. That award is going to UpHex folks. So if you want to try out UpHex, if you want to give it a free try, we offer trials. So go get a 14-day free trial, and I'll see you on the next video.